You walk into a room and scan every face to check if you're wanted there. You apologize to furniture. You read a one-word text, okay, and build a whole story about how someone's done with you. We call that anxious or sensitive or a lot, but underneath it is a quieter word most people never name. These are the signs of someone who's insecure. Not loud, not obvious, just running the show from backstage. So if even one is you when nobody's watching, stay with me. Because by sign 7, you'll see what almost nobody tells you. The same wiring doing all this might be the best thing about you. Sign 1. Someone bumps into you in a doorway and you're the one who says sorry. You open a message with "sorry to bother you" before you've even asked the thing. You apologize for taking up a seat you're allowed to sit in. Somewhere, sorry stopped meaning I did something wrong and started meaning please don't be upset that I'm here. You move through your own life like a guest who's overstayed. Researchers at the University of Waterloo had people log every apology they made for days. The ones who apologized most weren't doing anything more wrong. They just set the bar lower for what even counts as a wrong. That bar didn't drop on its own. Early on, you learned other people's comfort was your job, so you apologize in advance, heading off disapproval before it can arrive. That isn't weakness. It's a safety habit that worked so well you forgot it was running. When did sorry become the sound you make just to exist in a room? Sign 2. You send a perfectly normal text, then read it back 4 times, hunting for the thing that'll make them leave. You ask a friend, "Are you mad at me?" They say no, and 20 minutes later, the question quietly reloads. A good first date doesn't even count until they text first. For you, reassurance is water poured into a cup with a crack in the bottom. It fills, you feel okay, then you watch it drain, and you need someone to pour again. A psychologist named Thomas Joyner at Florida State gave it a name: excessive reassurance seeking, the need to hear you're loved and worth keeping, even right after you've been told. The reassurance works for a second. The problem isn't that you ask, it's that the proof never stays, because the doubt comes from inside. No one else's words can patch a leak on the inside of the cup. How many times have you been told you're wanted today, and how long did it actually hold? Sign 3. Someone says, "You did amazing," and before they've even finished, you've already said, "Oh, it was nothing, anyone could have." They compliment your shirt, you tell them it was on sale. A teacher says your work is the best they've seen all year, and your first thought is, they're just being nice. A compliment hits you like a key that doesn't fit your lock. It's clearly meant for you, but the mechanism won't turn, so you hand it straight back. William Swan at the University of Texas found people who see themselves negatively don't light up at praise. They feel torn. The kind words don't match the picture they carry of themselves, and the mind trusts its old picture over new evidence. So it isn't false modesty, and it isn't fishing. Praise quietly contradicts the story you have about who you are, and a mind under threat will side with what it already believes. When was the last time someone praised you and you just let it land, instead of explaining why they were wrong? Sign 4. You open your phone to relax, and 10 minutes later, you somehow feel behind. Someone's new job, someone's relationship, someone's ordinary Tuesday that looks better than your best day. You're comparing your full uncut footage, the boredom, the doubt, the days that go nowhere, against everyone else's 2-minute trailer. And you lose that comparison every time, because a trailer is built to win. In 2013, a researcher named Ethan Cross at the University of Michigan texted people 5 times a day for 2 weeks. The more they'd been scrolling, the worse they felt about their own life by the next message. And the detail that gives it away: time with people in person didn't do it, only the scrolling did. Your brain measures itself against the group. Useful when the group was 40 people in a village, not a feed of a few billion where you're always the smallest fish. How often do you close an app feeling worse about a life that didn't change while you were looking at it? Sign 5. A friend replies, "Okay, just okay," and you spend the next hour writing the story of how they're done with you. Your boss says, "Can we talk later?" and you've drafted your own firing before lunch. A shorter reply, a tired face, and your mind files it all under "they're pulling away." It's a security light so sensitive that one moth sets off the floodlights. The danger is almost never real, but the alarm is exhausting all the same. Geraldine Downey at Columbia called it rejection sensitivity. People high in it don't just fear rejection, they see it where it hasn't happened yet. A neutral face, an ambiguous text, and the mind fills the blank with the worst reading, automatically, before you've reasoned anything. If love once ran hot and cold, your brain learned to watch the weather constantly. Scanning for the drop kept you safe. The radar isn't broken, it's just trained far too well. How many fights, breakups, and disasters have you fully lived through that only ever happened inside your head? Sign 6, the one most people never catch in themselves. The night before something that matters, you stay up far too late. You don't really prepare for the interview, then tell everyone you didn't even try. You announce, "I'm probably going to bomb this," before you even walk in. It's like bringing a limp to the starting line on purpose, because if you lose now, it was the leg, not you. In a now classic 1978 experiment, psychologists Edward Jones and Stephen Berglas offered people a choice before a hard test, a pill said to help their performance or one said to hurt it. A surprising number, especially those unsure they could win on merit, chose the one that would sabotage them, because if you fail with a handicap, the failure isn't about you. They called it self-handicapping. From the outside, it looks like laziness. Underneath, it's protection. It feels safer to fail on purpose than to try your hardest and find out you still weren't enough. What's the thing you keep half trying so you never find out what your best would have done? Sign 7. You finally hit the goal. The grade, the promotion, the thing you worked for. The good feeling lasts about an hour before the bar slides forward and you're behind again. Everyone's congratulating you, and you're already sure you got lucky, that the next one is where they find out you were never really that capable. It's like carrying a ruler nobody else can see. No matter what you build, you find the half-inch you missed. In 1978, Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes at Georgia State named this the imposter phenomenon. High achievers, the proof in hand, quietly convinced they'd fooled everyone. The wins went in, the belief never updated. And here's what almost nobody tells you. The same wiring that makes you doubt yourself is the wiring that makes you grow. That bar that won't sit still is the reason you keep getting better. Insecurity aimed badly becomes a cage. Aimed well, it's an engine, quietly pushing you towards standards most people never reach. You were never broken. You've just been running powerful software with all the warning lights left on. So how do you turn the cage into an engine? Catch the apology before it leaves and trade it for a thank you. "Sorry I'm late" becomes "thank you for waiting." When a compliment comes, don't hand back the key. Say thank you and let it sit 3 seconds. You don't have to believe it, just stop deflecting it. When the radar lights up over a short text, write down the story your mind told you, then 3 others just as likely. You're teaching the alarm that toast isn't fire. And the big one, aim the standard at the work, never at your worth. Ask everything of the thing you're making, and nothing of your right to be here. So which of the 7 hit closest to home? Tell me in the comments, and if this made you a little kinder to yourself, subscribe and stick around. See you in the next one.